The Sierra goes electric, and to discuss that with us today is Anand Kulkarni, the Vice President for the EV business at Tata Motors. Anand, thank you for having us here.
Thank you and welcome to this event today.
Thanks.
Really looking forward to that.
No, absolutely. In fact, we've got a lot to unpack. So we've seen some of the bits that you have on the new Sierra Electric, and I want to start with the electric bits itself. So going electric, you've also now got all-wheel drive, right, or QWD as you call
Yes,
it.
yes.
How important is that to your let's say the brand and the positioning, and what's so unique about this?
So I would say that the Sierra, the icon that we are bringing back, stood for freedom, stood for expressiveness, stood for a lot of discovery and adventure in its earlier avatar. We had to get that back.
Takes the rough with the smooth. If I remember, that was the original
Correct.
line. Yeah.
And when the Sierra Ice was launched, I think it brought back those emotions very, very strongly. Now, when you look at an electric version, you are wanting to do everything together, not either this or that, not power or capability, not comfort or convenience. You want everything together, and that's what we have tried to bring into the car. And the all-wheel drive is an essential part of that, therefore, because it just allows you that much flexibility and freedom to sort of make the car very, very stable, planted on multiple surfaces, multiple terrains. And therefore, we say that this is a go anywhere, do anything car.
Okay, so the system, Anand, what you have in the Sierra now. Of course, the Harrier had QWD. You have a dual motor setup, and I think it's a similar setup here where the main motor is at the rear. The more powerful motor as such is at the rear. What's the total horsepower? What's the power between them? And if you could just use the spec.
Sure. So first of all, we believe in making sure that the architecture evolves, and therefore the architecture that powered the Harrier.EV, the same architecture also powers it in terms of the electric propulsion. So the rear unit is a Schaeffler drive, and it can generate up to 175 kilowatt. It generates about 175 kilowatt on the 63 kilowatt hour battery, and the 75 kilowatt hour battery does roughly about 165 kilowatt. Now the front motor is at 103 kilowatt. So total installed power is 165 plus 103 on the all-wheel drive. That makes it about 268.
That's never both.
Yeah. So
going
what
at
happens?
max,
What
right?
happens is when you have a battery, the battery sort of also has a discharge capability, and therefore we can at any given point of time use up to about 250 kilowatt of energy. But that's good enough. Good enough to propel the Sierra to a 0 to 100 number of 5.8 seconds, which makes it the quickest homegrown EV.
Right. I mean, that is impressive for sure. So I get the logic. I mean, typically you shouldn't add up and just a note to our viewers also, you shouldn't add the horsepower of the rear and the front motor because they both will not be giving the same output.
Correct.
Right. So okay, amazing. But yeah, plenty quick. Right.
It is very quick.
And also on another aspect of electric mobility is the range. You have I think 665 as the max range on the two-wheel drive.
On the rear wheel drive, yes.
On the rear-wheel drive car. What would be the real-world range that customers could expect?
Right. So we've always spoken about the C75, and Tata Motors has always felt that giving people an indication of what they are more likely to get in real-world conditions is absolutely more important to them. So the 665 kilometers P1 plus P2 MIDC range will yield you about 510 to 530 kilometers roughly in real world, and with that's of course with the rear wheel drive, and with the all wheel drive it drops down a little bit by about 20-25 kilometers. So you should still be able to get around 480 ish number.
Real world.
Yes. Whereas the 65 kilowatt hour battery, the smaller battery, the real life is still about 400. That gives about 560 odd kilometers on the P1, P2, and it will still yield you about 400 and 430, 440 kilometers in real world. Now that's a very credible range, because with those numbers on that kind of a footprint and that size of a battery,
yeah.
it already places it amongst the highest range cars, I mean, in the top quartile of all the cars globally.
Right. Yeah. And I think, therefore, what you're saying is all of your variants are 400 plus in terms of
Yes.
real world range.
Yes, yes.
Right. So yeah, plenty usable. The other thing, Anand, we have to talk about is the four-wheel drive, like we just discussed. It is quite intrinsic to the brand Sierra. You've got this now on the electric version, and I remember talking to you at the launch of the internal combustion versions, and you said the platform is actually highly modular and flexible, and you could do electric four-wheel drive. You could do an internal combustion four-wheel drive, so the propeller shaft, or you could even do an e-axle. You have that flexibility as such. Do you see that now happening in the ICE range? Can the internal combustion customers look forward to all-wheel drive QWD?
Well, Sergius, I know what we have spoken about, but for today, I would restrict the questions to Sierra AV.
Okay.
And look, nothing is outside the realm of possibility, but I think we'll keep that for later.
Right. So you're not telling us what's coming next just yet.
How would I? No.
Fair enough. Fair enough, Anand. So, also in terms of the other technology that you have now into the Sierra EV, you've got the I think the consoles which you can use your phone.
Yes.
To game.
Yes.
Do you? I mean, it's a great feature in terms of technically you can sit in your car maybe while it's charging, for example, and play a game with two people or things like that. Do you see people using that? What's your feedback in terms of your customers using all of these connected features and things like that, like the third screen which you have now for a while on the internal combustion?
So look, we think that it makes a great enablement to people to be able to have some kind of an entertainment, some kind of engagement while you are on the journey. You often have kids. Long journeys can sort of be monotonous, and therefore, can you create a better experience of engagement within the car? And therefore, we've tried to do this. We think that it makes imminent sense. It is very relevant. How do people look at it? I mean, let's see whatever clinics that we have done indicate that people need to have some kind of engagement within the car.
Right.
But how much would they use it? We'll see.
Got it. And Anand, just a word on the battery. In terms of both the batteries, what type of battery is this? Are you using which? Are they different chemistries? Are they both the same?
So both batteries are the same chemistry. We have continued with LFP. Quite a few number of years back now, 8 years, we made a choice about going to LFP because of the inherent advantages in terms of life, safety, as well as the access cost, etc. It makes eminent sense for a country like India, hot weather climate, etc. We are not necessarily seeing any change in that, but within the footprint of the car, we needed to package the best size of batteries, and therefore we have gone to a cell-to-pack architecture of construction within the battery, and that's been able to therefore give us incredibly good energy density within the battery for the footprint. And again, that's something that we are very proud of because it's at about 141 watt hour per kilogram, which is quite good, class leading, I would say. And that's what enables the 75 kilowatt hour battery and the range and everything along with that.
True.
Yes.
And also on the battery, I'm yet to sit in it, waiting to do that, to sit inside. But how is the packaging? Have you all had to manage the flow height? Are there any changes with the sort of the monocoque with respect to the ICE, to manage the hip point and the...
So first of all, this is a different architecture.
Okay.
So the floor pan, the front end structures, the crash structures,
because of the weight,
all of this, because it has to manage better weight, it also has to manage side impact forces, etc. It's a different architecture altogether. And for these very questions, today we have an exploded view of the entire car, where you'll be able to see how everything comes together. So I would suggest that you have a look at this, and whenever you have any more questions, I mean, it will answer all your questions outright.
Fair
but
enough.
If anything more, I'm happy to help.
Fair enough. And I think before I let you go, I know there's a long line of people waiting to speak to you. Just a few things. The ground clearance. What is the ground clearance on the electric Sierra? Because At least so far, I haven't come across it in the literature.
So the ground clearance on this car is class leading again. It is at 205 millimeters. That gives it exceedingly high levels of not only straight ground clearance but also ramp over angles, and that's what gives us the exceedingly good capability on different terrains.
Amazing. And a last question on terrain. Right, you have terrain modes right now.
Yes.
So I think there are 6 terrain modes for gravel, snow, things like that. The terrain mode, it's obviously influencing your entire ESP system, braking, throttle, etc. But being electric, is there an inherent advantage in an off-roader? Because what we've seen, the response time for electric systems, torque management, much quicker than an internal combustion.
Absolutely.
So do you think this is really going to be really very capable off-road because of the electric system?
It does help, Sergius, because you are right. The torque buildup in an ICE vehicle, you would have, even if it's a turbocharged or anything, you would have it to spool up, and there is a certain amount of lag. But in an electric vehicle, it is instantaneous. That presents both challenges as well as opportunities, because particularly on a uphill kind of a situation with low friction, it is
you need to control it.
you need to control that. Of course, today the chassis systems take care of most of that control because they are very, very fast. But then to complement with that, if you have rapid power delivery, then I think it really helps scale multiple difficult terrains, and that is the advantage of it.
Right, and I think the gradability on this one is 50% or 26 degree or something.
Actually, a little bit more, because 50% does correspond to a little higher number. But you are right, because there are two things. One is running gradability. I mean, you approach it with a certain momentum and then you scale up. The momentum helps you. But restart gradability is also very high. And a part of that is because of the exceptionally good power and torque availability at wheels. Second thing is because of the battery, the mass distribution is very, very balanced. And then, of course, the traction control systems, the large size of the wheels, all of this contribute to making the car incredibly capable. And I mean, you've seen the video of Talmorib, and when you have shifting sands, I mean, the traction, the weight transfer, the weight balance, the suspension setup, all has to be exceptionally good in order to be able to achieve that.
Right. So I can't wait to experience all this, Anand. So thanks for the time.
Thank you very much.
And I'm going to be getting back to you for the keys.
Absolutely. No, it's been a pleasure talking to you and sharing the details of the Sierra with you. And let's have a look at the car also, and hopefully on the ride and drive or the media drives as well.
Super. Thanks, Anand. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.